Okay, so I somehow stumbled onto a video where the streamer, Sneako, hosts a debate between Zerka and the Muslim lantern aka Muhammad Ali. It was a Christianity versus Islam debate, and I used the word debate in quotes. It was kind of a shit show, but the point is, the algorithm started feeding me more videos by this Muslim lantern person. It seems that Sneako has recently become Muslim, and he has this Muslim lantern guy essentially telling him what to think. It's really quite cringe, to be honest. It's like Sneako just converted without knowing much about Islam, and now he's having streams with Muslims who tell him what to think. I don't care that Sneako has converted to Islam, or any other religion. Like Joseph Campbell famously said, follow your bliss. If this is Sneako's bliss, then more power to him. A younger, angry atheist version of me would have been all over this, but as I've gotten older, I've gotten less angry, less atheist, and far less concerned with religion in general. The purpose of this video is to point out the crappy logic being deployed by the Muslim lantern, as he argues that Sharia law is preferable to democracy. These arguments are so horribly flawed that they deserve a video. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Here we go! I understand your point. So I get a lot of these people in my chat, they say that democracy is gay and they want Taliban rule. Do you think that that would be a better world?
Well, the Taliban I have criticisms of the Taliban, right? They're not doing things from a Sharia perspective as well.
Right, but would that be a better alternative to democracy, just having Taliban rule?
Honestly, I do not know as much about them to give, but they are different. They're better than the US. There is no doubt about that. It's like that. Absolutely, they're better than the US. Look how the US is now. You can't even walk in the street. Right? You cannot even walk in the street with your possessions now. You cannot even keep your car locked without your stuff being stolen from you. The people will steal things up to $1,000 in stores and they will not get punished of it. People are jumping from the borders every day, entering illegally in the country without any papers, and then everything is a mess in the US. Shootings, everyone has weapons, everyone shooting each other. Is this tell me what is good about the law, the man-made laws that the US have invented?
Okay, so let's unpack this straw man. Notice how this lantern guy singles out the United States, or at least, the cartoonish version of the US you'd get from doom scrolling on TikTok, and not one of the more functional democracies. In which Taliban or Sharia law-led country is he comparing against the United States? Let's take a look at the Corruption Perceptions Index. We can see that the countries with the least corruption tend to be democracies, while the countries with Sharia law are near the bottom. These countries have the worst records when it comes to human rights abuses. We're talking forced conversions, honor killings, torture, extrajudicial executions, prison torture, repression of freedom of expression and association, and arbitrary detentions, and repression of free speech and dissent. Furthermore, his conception of the United States is the cartoonish version you'd get from doom-scrolling TikTok politics, where you're fed these anecdotes, as if these are the norm. No, not everyone has a weapon. Some people do get arrested for shoplifting. What happens is that stores have policies not to engage a shoplifter for the employee's safety. Not necessarily because they care about the employee, but because they don't want the worker's compensation nightmare, not to mention potentially getting sued if they mistakenly stop a non-shoplifter. You can walk around with your positions, people do it all the time. Even more hilarious is how he frames the fact that people risking their lives to immigrate to the United States, as an example of just how bad things are in the US, when the governments he's defending are among the worst human rights abusers and people are leaving these countries.
But look at a very funny law I'll talk about, which is a bit controversial. I know you chat like controversial stuff, right? So a funny law to talk about, for example, is the law of marriage, right? The age of marriage. Look at the states in the US. This is now something I'm telling people to do. Just Google this. Every single state has a different law when it comes to
age of consent.
So the country itself cannot agree with itself on what is right or what is wrong. Let alone talk to other people about what you should or shouldn't do. Every state has different laws when it comes to gun laws, abortion laws. The state is a mess. If you're asking me, the truth is the state is not a unity in any way, shape, or form. I view the state as every single state as its own country in a way. It's on a very small country that runs by itself. So yeah, okay, you give me a better alternative.
Yes, in a large country with 50 different states, the age of consent varies from 16 to 18. A whopping 2 years, as do gun and abortion laws. Good one, bro. That's quite a checkmate. Note how Ali just mentions these variations in state law and proclaims that he views each state as its own country, as if they're not all subject to federal law. This is just a non sequitur by way of cherry-picking and omission.
To the God's law. Whatever you want to call it, Sharia, you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. Give me a better alternative that will function in a better way, that will give society prosperity, happiness, and safety, and all of these different things. Give me an example.
It doesn't exist.
You serious?
One example is all you want? How about 27? Denmark, Finland, New Zealand, Norway, Singapore, Sweden, Switzerland, Netherlands, Germany, Ireland, Luxembourg, Hong Kong, Australia, Canada, Estonia, Iceland, Uruguay, Belgium, Japan, United Kingdom, France, Austria, Seychelles, United States of America, Bhutan, Taiwan, Chile, and oh look, we finally get to a country that follows the laws of Ali's God. Now, I understand these metrics may not matter to the Muslim lantern. His indicators are probably something like percentage of the population he thinks will go to heaven, or the percentage of same-sex couples, with the lower percentage being preferable. He might think the restrictive nature of Sharia law is a good thing because it keeps people in check. But that's kind of like arguing that slavery was a good thing because it curbed black crime.
Yeah, so why are you asking me that? Of course I need Sharia law, right?
Yeah.
If Sharia law is God's law, and look, this is what I was telling you. Anything that you'll bring, any ideology, and you're welcome to present, any ideology that you'll present, the good things in this ideology will already be present in Islam. And the bad things in this ideology, Islam will not have it, because Islam only has good, because it's divine law coming from the Creator.
And now we have this claim, which is borderline, circular reasoning. Sharia law is only good in it because it comes from the divine Creator. How do we know it comes from the divine Creator? Because the book that gives us Sharia law says so. So the real question is, would you rather have man's law based on a modern understanding of human rights, a version of man's law that's evolved through the ages and fits modern line, or man's law from the Bronze Age, slightly modified by a medieval warlord who married a 6-year-old? I'll take the former.